What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video here at Chris's MMA Universe. This video here, I'm going to be focusing on the fight with Jon Jones versus Dominick Reyes, which looked like it's going to be happening somewhere in February. Um, so it looks like that's going to headline the card coming this February. And I mean, with Dominick Reyes going up against Jon Jones, I do believe Dominick Reyes could cause some issues for Jon Jones. I mean, how many times have we been through this where, they're just waiting on this next opponent to beat Jon Jones, and, this next opponent could really, really cause him some problems, or this opponent, he never faced somebody like this, or he never faced somebody like that. And Jon Jones always ends the night with his hand raised. So for this one here, I mean, it's kind of like, where you tune in to already know the outcome, but then some people might tune in because they want to see Jon Jones lose or whatever the case is, or let's see how he's going to win this time. But a lot of times people don't want to tune in when they know the ending. It's just something that, you know, like you're going to tune into this fight, but you already know what's going to happen. Like Jon Jones is going to win, of course. And but that's the thing, you never really know. It's a fight, so anything can happen, right? I mean, we've seen people shock the world before, but I honestly do believe that if anybody were to beat Jon Jones, that would probably be the biggest upset in the history of sports. I really do believe so. I mean, especially in combat sports. I would say especially MMA sports, I should say. But this would be one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset in combat sports. And for Dominic Reyes to go in there being undefeated, I mean, we've seen Jon Jones take people undefeated record, where he took Daniel Cormier's record. I mean, the list can go on, but I'm just saying that he has taken undefeated records before. So this wouldn't be the first time for Jon Jones to take somebody's O. But, for Dominic Reyes going in there, I mean, he's a tough, incredibly durable guy. His boxing is phenomenal. He looks like he could just tap you on the chin and you just end up hitting the canvas. And, he has some walk away knockouts where, he just touches you and that's it. The fight's done. So with Dominic Reyes going in there presenting some just durability, his boxing is just out of this world. Like I said, he has a very good left high kick where he has caught some people before and dropped them, knocked them completely out. And Dominic Reyes, I mean, he looked phenomenal in his last fight. I mean, I know it was against a blown up middleweight, we can say, against Chris Weidman, where that was Chris Weidman's light heavyweight debut. But it seemed like Chris Weidman kind of like was aiming for light heavyweight for quite a while because, and I mean, he looked like he was going to head there. He looked like he was going to end up there because of how much weight he has to cut to get down to 185. So he looked more like a natural 205er. But when he fought Dominic Reyes, there was really nothing there. There was nothing there for Dominic Reyes to have to overcome. And, it's just Chris Weidman didn't present any issues for Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes ended that fight in round one, and it was very quick. And he just looked fantastic. He looked phenomenal. His boxing is so sharp. You know, he has submissions on the ground. He has high kicks. He has leg kicks. He has midsection. Like, this guy is just all around great. But then we look at Jon Jones. Where does Jon Jones really have flaws? There's really no flaws in Jon Jones's game. I mean, he's a perfectly well-rounded fighter. He's a full-size 205er. Now, I know Dominic Reyes is going in there. He's nice and tall. He's nice and big. He's actually nice and long. But Jon Jones is longer, bigger, taller. And he's just incredibly well-rounded. Now, I know a lot of people are looking at Jon Jones saying that like his fights were kind of like declining. When he came back, he fought Gustafsson. Yeah, he finished Gustafsson. He fought Anthony Smith. It was kind of odd, where he was doing some punches from when he was on his knees, where they were both kind of like on their knees on the ground swinging, and it was just kind of odd what Jon Jones was doing with Anthony Smith. It wasn't really a complete domination, but he did win indecisively. I mean, by unanimous decision. But then he fought Thiago Santos, and that was a split decision. When was the last time you ever remember Jon Jones winning by a split decision, meaning he actually lost a little bit in that fight? But that was the very first split decision win by Jon Jones ever. So you could look at those last 3 fights he had from December of 18, and it kind of did decline, like just a little. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, he's slowing down. Jon Jones isn't the same fighter he was. I mean, Jon Jones is what? 32 years old, 31, 32 years old. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%, but he's somewhere there. And I mean, Jon Jones could very well still be in his prime. He very well could be. I mean, we've seen how Anderson Silva went, where, he was in his, mid to early 30s when he was still in his prime and he was just untouchable. But Jon Jones, of course, he's a totally different fighter, but Jon Jones is a very dominant guy. I mean, I know not very, in his last fights, it wasn't really the case, but, with people thinking that he's slowing down, I don't believe he's slowing down. I don't really believe that. I just think he was playing it safe and he wasn't really kind of giving it his all in the Thiago Santos fight, as far as like he didn't really want to move in. He didn't really want to go into too much and end up slipping up and get caught by something lucky, or by just something crazy where he would get caught. He's playing it safe. So, and we know Jon Jones to do that. He's gonna go for the way to win. However that way is, whether it's going to be boring, whether it's going to be exciting, doesn't really matter. He wants to be the guy that gets his hand raised. And I know he said he wants to be the most dominant fighter, because that could just like being the greatest, that's an opinion. And being a dominant fighter, like the most dominant, you really can't argue that if you really were the most dominant. But with Jon Jones playing it safe, or him going risky, or whatever he does, it's been working. No one has defeated Jon Jones. That one loss on his record was a disqualification loss that should have never happened. It was when he fought Matt Hamill, and he in a fight where he was just insanely dominant. And Steve Mazzagatti, of course, was the ref in that fight and ended up giving Jon Jones the disqualification laws, because they were saying by the rules back then with the 12-by-6 elbows, and whatever the case is. But it's too bad that he has that loss. I know Dana White was trying to have that overturned by the commission, but I don't really know what's going on with that. I haven't heard any updates. But anyway, with Jon Jones going into this fight, I do believe that Jon Jones will find a way to win. But with both of these men being very well-rounded, Jon Jones has a phenomenal wrestling game where he's just so athletic and so strong. But Dominic Reyes being so fresh, he's young. He's going to go in there younger. He's going to go in there very hungry. And I do believe that Jon Jones, if he's not on there and he's not in there in his sharpest game, where he's not in there really with his head on straight, which I'm not saying that's not how he's going to go in there. I do not remember Jon Jones going in there with anything, where him not being sharp, except for, him doing drugs in the past and then fighting the very next weekend. But still winning, it's just insane. This guy is just a special talent where he just goes in there and finds a way to win. He can dominate you. He can just outclass you. It's just insane, the things that we've been able to see him do and see him grow in the octagon, and has been the champion for so long, and it's just insane, where the things that he's been able to do, and nobody has been able to dethrone him. The only reason why there was another light heavyweight champion in there was because he was getting in some trouble outside the octagon, where I'm sure all you guys know about. But I do believe that Dominic Reyes, if someone were to be able to beat Jon Jones, it could be Dominic Reyes. Yes, I know we have heard this time and time again, but Dominic Reyes is going to go in there, and I do believe that there's a different hunger in this guy's eyes, where he could go in there and he could potentially be the next light heavyweight champion. Is it likely? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. But will it happen? That's really the question. Can Dominic Reyes beat Jon Jones? And I know a lot of you guys are saying there's no way that's going to happen. Definitely not. But who really thought that Anderson Silva was going to get dethroned? And look what happened there. That was the craziest upset. My jaw dropped when I saw that, and I just really couldn't even believe it. I couldn't comprehend it. So if Dominic Reyes goes in there and ends up, being able to catch Jon Jones and ends up becoming the light heavyweight champion, I don't even know. That's going to vibrate the world, and it's going to vibrate the MMA world for sure. And it will shock every single soul on this planet that watches MMA. And honestly, we'll see what happens. I really want to know what you guys think. Who's really going to win this fight? How do you think they will win? You know, what round? I just really want to know what you guys think in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy my content. I want to see your subscription. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see all you guys in the next one.